Hello, my name is Marie. I am co-chair, one of the co-chairs of the Arise Western New York, used to be known as the Voice Buffalo Accessibility Disability Task Force. And just like my shirt says, we want equality. So these videos that will be shown in a few minutes shows the fact how are we fighting for equality, and it's not just people with disabilities in the video.
Again, everybody, I'm Joanna Passeri, topping Eyewitness News at 5:30 tonight. Imagine not being able to drive and losing your bus service. That's what some local disabled people are facing tonight. They are fighting for equal access, ironically, on the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Channel 7's Jason Grenauer has more tonight from West Seneca.
It's been 23 years since the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, so is there equal access? Many people here in West Seneca took to the streets today to say no. Dozens walked and wheeled their way through West Seneca, protesting a funding cut that would limit paratransit busing in the area and prevent several wheelchair-bound workers from getting to their jobs.
It's not conducive for people in wheelchairs to be driving down the street. There's going to be some hazards there. It's going to create some potential problems for people in their vehicles. It's not a good situation.
We will lose our access to our community, to our jobs.
Mantle has cerebral palsy and without the busing has no way to get to the Developmental Disabilities Service office in West Seneca where he works. But he says the issue is about more than that. He says it's about access for the disabled community, which he claims is still limited more than 2 decades after the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed.
Like on Elmwood or Delaware, there are businesses that aren't wheelchair accessible, that if they were, I would go into that business.
Are some places still lagging behind? You find it hard to get into some places?
Yes. It's a right to be part of this society. They have rights under this law, and we're going to make sure that those rights are complied with.
Assemblyman Kern says he'll take the fight for those rights to the NFTA to try to restore the bus route, as people with disabilities say they just want to be heard as productive members of the community, claiming all they want is equal treatment.
I accept who I am, and I'm a person with cerebral palsy in a wheelchair. It doesn't make me any different than anybody else.
In West Seneca, Jason Grenauer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
DJ Stagio, I'm here, one of the speakers for the Voice Buffalo Accessibility Task Force, and I would like to say a few things if I could. Over my 16-year career of working with advocates in many capacities, I have seen changes in the system, and I would like to thank the representatives of OPWD for that change, but with the reminder that we have a long way to go and we need to work together to get there and build that bridge we've all worked so hard to build. Amen. Because we worked really hard to build that bridge, and I don't want to see anybody tear it down. Because it's been so long that people with disabilities haven't been allowed on the bridge together. We can work together to make the office accessible, to have a satellite office, to do all the things we want to do together as the future changes. We should all be a part of that future. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello everyone, I'm Gwen Squire, and when I was 3 years old, I was placed out at the West Seneca Developmental Center, the old institution where we're trying to get the office moved. And to make my story pretty short, because I've only got 2 minutes, I went home for good because of a woman that was working there who met me a month after I started living there, and she adopted me, took me home, and she placed me into regular school. I went on up to high school in regular classes after a while I was mainstreamed about the 8th grade. And then I went on to do other things that the doctors who tried to talk about taking me home told her I couldn't do. I went on to get a master's degree. I went on to get my license. and I got into all kinds of things. And currently, I just started working. I have 2 jobs. I'm working for the South Advocacy Association as a presenter, and I'm also working at People Incorporated, just started. Anyway, I feel the need that we need to move the satellite office because of a lot of reasons. There are many reasons, but one of the reasons is because a lot of us who lived out there have a hard time sometimes walking through the door, at least for the first time. You know, you go back and you remember things that were not so good and they weren't all bad there, okay? But they weren't all great there either. I mean, I experienced some verbal and psychological abuse myself, but many other people experience a lot worse than that. And it's very difficult for them to walk in, to want to work there, and to be able to be there during the day and not feel those memories and not, it even smells the same, believe it or don't, as you walk in there. But it's also about accessibility. It's about getting people like myself who want to work. Many of us, there's that stigma that we don't want to work, but we do. Just because we have a disability doesn't mean we don't want to contribute. It doesn't mean we don't want to be part of the community. We do. So we need to move the satellite office as soon as possible. So I have to wrap it up, but please, let's move the office. It really needs to be done. And with all the asbestos that's out there now and all the lead in the water and stuff, it's not good for us. And we really want to be able to do our jobs. So we need to move the office. Woo-hoo. Thank you.
My name is Diane Jordan. About 50 years ago, I was raised. My name is Diane Jordan. About 50 years ago, I was raising a daughter, a single parent, raising a daughter in Buffalo. She had some problems, emotional problems. So they placed her in the West Seneca Developmental Center for several weeks. At that time, I had no vision in my left eye, and I had limited vision in my right eye. Now I am totally blind. So I never drove. In order to visit my daughter, I had to take 2 buses to the Southgate Plaza and then walk 3 miles to the facility. Sometimes I got a ride to or from, but most of the times I had to walk a total of 6 miles. It was difficult, but I did what I had to do. Since then, I have become an activist. I am a member of the National Federation of the Blind and work with them. In July, a friend of mine asked me if I would attend a rally, the Voice Buffalo Walk and Roll Rally for Accessibility. They wanted to move the regional WPDD office to an accessible location, and we would walk from the plaza to the facility. It wasn't until we were on our way that I realized where we were. I said, what? We are going where? I walked this path 50 years ago. It was not accessible then, and it still isn't. They have not did anything to change it. That is crazy. And it wasn't just me walking. It was people with crutches and canes and walkers and even wheelchairs. The people who need the most help with accessibility are being referred to an office that is inaccessible. I think that it's about time that we do something about it. Don't you?
we have some things that we're going to ask tonight that we want some movement on. And one of the first things we are going to ask for is a satellite office. We want the satellite office to house core services. We want you to go back to your colleagues and to Governor Cuomo and let them know how imperative this is that this happen, because we want people to be able to access the services that they can get in our community. And we would like to have this happen within 1 year's time. Are you with us on this?
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. But before I go there, I just want to take the opportunity to thank Bilt, thank Voice Buffalo, thank Gwen, BJ, and Diane, as well as Marie, for their stories. And I absolutely agree with BJ's statement that we need to cross that bridge together. So with that beginning, absolutely. So I'll try to take your questions and make sure I fully answer them. Absolutely. OPWDD and the DVRO are committed to a satellite office. We have aligned with a coalition of provider agencies, including a couple of agencies that are here tonight, the Learning Disabilities Association and Parent Network, to develop a shared space initiative that will be located at 1021 Broadway, which is Jericho Road, and we're thrilled to align with them. In terms of your question regarding time frame, the coalition of agencies is currently working to obtain the funding to facilitate the build-out that has to occur in order for that move to absolutely occur. And we are working closely with them and committing to align and move in to a satellite office as soon as that is available.
Thank you, thank you. Well, Kevin tonight is kind of the stunt double for Lieutenant Governor Hochul. She couldn't be here with us, so he is her for tonight. So I'm going to ask you, as I'm asking her, we would like a citizens inclusion work group to be created that will be part of the Disabilities Services Office. There will be people on it that can make decisions, as well as people from the Voice Buffalo Accessibility Task Force. We were asking the Governor Hochul if she will take the power of her office and that of the governor to direct it toward the creation of this work group.
Absolutely, Michael, and on behalf of the Commissioner for the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, our office is absolutely committed to working with a task force to address the future of the Developmental Disabilities Regional Office. As Marie had indicated, we absolutely concur with nothing about us without us. I'll just add one additional thing, that we're also committed to working with the coalition on making sure that any public events that we have prior to the new initiative being in place are held at accessible offices so that every individual who wants to attend can attend.
And again, we want this group to have decision-making power, not just somebody that meets once in a while. We want this regular and with decision-making power. And then finally, those two steps, we want the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor to look forward to the eventual full movement of services from West Seneca to hopefully Buffalo. And we want their support on that as well. But we know that's an eventual movement.
Absolutely. It is in fact an eventual movement. However, as I had indicated, we are absolutely committed to working with the accessibility work group. We fully appreciate that your message will continue, and And when I say appreciate, I mean appreciate that your message will continue, and we will work with you on that.
Thank you, sir. And then finally, our final ask is of the community. It is you that must be a part of this. We need you. We want these things to culminate into the full inclusion, full acceptance of people with disabilities into society. We need you. Are you with us?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. You can be louder than that. That's better. It could be louder. We want to shake the room. Thank you. And thank you, Kevin, for joining us tonight. Well, as you can see, everybody, that was our ask. I am Mike Rogers, co-chair of Arise of Western New York, and we won. We got on July 26th of this year, the 31st anniversary of the ADA. We are moving in to the satellite office, but our work isn't done yet. Our work for equity and full inclusion isn't done yet. So if you want to be a part of our work, you can join us every second Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. at our meetings. And you can contact us at 716-336-6965 or email us at mrogers@sanus.org. And that's MROGERS@SANYS.org. And thank you.